Hello, my name is Alexa Huffman, and this is my mock IEP video. Hello everyone, my name is Alexa Huffman, and I am the case manager as well as the special education teacher for Elizabeth Allen. This meeting is an annual review IEP meeting. Before we get started, if we could introduce ourselves, we have the general education educator, our school psychologist, Elizabeth's parents, the assistant principal, and our school principal. So let's take a moment and just to introduce our names and get to know one another. Thank you. The meeting notice was sent out September 14th of 2021. The procedural safeguards, I have placed a link, electronic link in the Google Meets meeting since of COVID, and we're still in high alert in our district. We are on Google Meets, and that's why we cannot meet in person. On the parental rights, Mr. and Mrs. Allen, I want you to know that you are part of this team and you have every right to participate in any eligibility meeting or any decision-making time when it comes to your daughter's placement in her IEP. These meetings are backed by FAPE. You guys can request her records, academic records, at any time. You have my contact information, and if you have ever any questions even after this meeting, please feel free to call me. Our meeting norms, I would like to discuss to please allow everyone to have time to voice their thoughts when supporting Elizabeth, ask questions, stay on task. I've placed an agenda, a copy of the agenda link in the Google Meets. Respect one another, and if anyone has any questions, please ask. We're all here to support Elizabeth. So for current IEP information, as of right now, Elizabeth is receiving 360 minutes a week with special design instruction in language arts for reading and writing and mathematics. She's receiving 240 minutes a week for reading and writing for language arts and 120 minutes of special design instruction in math. Elizabeth is provided with supplementary aids, services, and accommodations. This includes reduced workload, extended time, separate settings as needed, multiplication chart and numbers line specifically for math, spelling dictionaries, and more. Elizabeth has qualified for IEP services through intellectual disability. For the state and district assessments, I would like to talk about this for a second. So for the district assessment, our school district uses iReady, so we have those scores. For the state assessment, Elizabeth was not here. Even if she was here, because of the pandemic, those scores are, the assessments were so small because of how everything took place last year. The school district still does not have those scores. So if she was here, we wouldn't even be able to utilize them. For reading and writing, besides the iReady scores, we did administered a Fontes and Pinnell reading benchmark, which took place on September 7th, which placed Elizabeth at an independent I, which is about a late first grade level. A is at the very beginning of the grade level, and going to A to Z, Z is like the eldest grade level. The student read with 98% accuracy and self-corrected her miscues at a 1 to 2 rate, utilizing text meaning and some visual cues when self-correcting her errors. Elizabeth read primarily 2-word phrases with some 3 to 4 word groups. She provided important information from the nonfiction text and answered some questions, which helped demonstrate her comprehension approaching proficiency level. If you guys look at the link I had posted, you will see Elizabeth's the graph for the iReady diagnostic that took place on September 7th. She tested out of phonological awareness and high frequency words. She tested into first grade level for vocabulary and comprehension, specifically in literature, and a kindergarten level for phonics, and a 3rd grade level for comprehension informational. For writing, this assessment was taken by a writing prompt. The writing prompt was the students talking about something that they loved or something that makes them happy. And Elizabeth wrote 4 independent sentences, and each independent sentence started with "I love." None of the sentences had any punctuation. She spelled most words accurate. She did utilize a spelling dictionary to help with spelling unknown words. She does seem to lack confidence in herself in her writing. She needed support from the education staff in order to complete this assessment. For math, this was done on the iWriting math assessment. She had placed an overall kindergarten grade level for math. She read 3-digit numbers with 100% accuracy, solved single-digit multiplication facts using multiplication chart with accuracy, and added and subtracted 2-digit numbers with regrouping at a 47% accuracy. She didn't complete any one-step word problems given to her. If you guys look here on this chart that I provided for you, she had tested into 1st grade level for algebra and algebraic thinking, measurement and data. In kindergarten, she placed in the kindergarten grade level for geometry and numbers and operations. A Woodcock-Johnson assessment was administered to Elizabeth, but I'm going to let our school psychologist, Mr. Goldstein, talk about those results because he did them with her. Mr. Goldstein, if you could take the time to do that, please. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Goldstein. So the information given right now, Elizabeth is performing below her peers and below her grade level in reading, writing, and math. She would benefit from a small group, one-on-one, separate settings, and opportunities for individual support. This will increase her skills, which would allow her to be more successful in her academics and have her more access to the general education curriculum, as well as her classroom peers, to help fill that gap. I would just like to reiterate some of her strengths. She loves playing sports, and I have to say I watched her play volleyball, and she was amazing. She's a great serve. She loves riding her bike, making slime, reading with her mom, and doing math with her mom, and reading is a strength. There's no concerns for her gross motor or fine motor vision or hearing, her oral language communication, and no concern with her social emotional behavior or adaptive. Parents, do you have any input of what you would like Elizabeth to work on, or any goals that you have for her? At this time, Elizabeth's parents had communicated that they would like her to work on her math as well as her spelling. Her dad specifically would like her to work on her writing, including like her handwriting. Elizabeth, she demonstrates that she tries in the classroom. She tries very, very hard. She's well liked by her peers. She does need occasional support herself with boosting her confidence and letting her know that she does well. I enjoy her in the classroom. For assessments, the accommodations that are provided to Elizabeth with her assessments are text-to-speech, speech-to-text, a streamlined interface mode, multiplication chart for math, number line for math, breaks as needed, extended time, small group administration, reread instructions and test items just to help with her clarification and comprehension. For her writing, work samples, extended time as read aloud prompts and spell check resources. We had already talked about the state and district assessments. I did place the scores on our agenda, on the paper, on the link I provided everyone. What the team has discussed, there's two options that we've discussed for placement. An 80-20, where she's in a general education classroom for 80% of the time, and a resource room for 20% of the time. She'd get more one-on-one services, slower pace, small group administered, and be able to have the information reread to her. The possible harmful effects she wouldn't be able to learn by or learn alongside her peers. The other option was to keep her in the general education classroom full time, so she could learn alongside her peers. But the possible harmful effects right there is that she wouldn't be able to work up to the expectations than the rest of the class, because it's at a faster pace. The team had unanimously voted to stick with the 80-20. Going on to her goals. For language arts reading, it is a goal to get her Fontes and Pinnell score from a level I to a level M with a minimum of 96% accuracy, in a comprehension at a proficient level measured by a teacher using some running records. For her writing, she will go from writing 4 independent sentences to writing a paragraph that will include topic, sentence, details, 3 supporting sentences, followed by a concluding sentence with a minimum correct writing sequence of 65%. For her math goals, Elizabeth will represent and solve problems involving multiplication and division, meeting the following objectives with 80% accuracy, as well as she will use place value to perform multi-digit arithmetic, meeting the following objectives with 80% accuracy as measured by informal assessments and daily work. All this information for the parents, this will be on the annual report card, which is sent out twice a year. So you can see this at during those times, or you can call me anytime to check on how she's doing. The special education services to be provided are special design instruction in language arts and math. We will continue with 360 minutes a week. For the supplementary aids, the teachers will, when I say teachers, I mean myself and my staff members, will read directions at her level and say the test out loud, repeat and clarify the directions, as well as check for comprehension. I will be meeting with my staff once a month for 10 minutes a week, just to go over things with them, making sure they're supporting Elizabeth to the best potential, and me checking with them to see how they're doing with her. Does anyone have any questions for me at this time? Thank you. Parents, I would like to let you know that the procedural safeguards and the prior written notice and the IEP will all be sent to you by our district office. I submit everything to them, and after I submit everything to them, they're the ones who are going to be mailing you all this information. It does not come directly from me. And that's my IEP video. It says, conclude your video by providing an explanation of how you would actively listen and tend to address needs of families or other stakeholders. I would give them time to speak and allow them time to any questions. I would consistently check in with my parents or the other stakeholders in the meeting, and I would make sure I'd be engaging in every conversation for an active listening and to help address their questions, as well as go off of any documentation in order to help answer any questions that they may have about Elizabeth and her needs with supporting her. My name is Alexa Huffman, and this is my IEP mock video.